Hello out there, and today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of discontinued Benchmade knives. And these are a couple knives that I actually picked up a few weeks ago, and just because of how hectic things have been, haven't been able to get them in front of the camera until now. And I'm really excited to do that though, because one of them, the 960, is a knife that I've been chasing and trying to get my hands on for quite a while. It has been at the top of my list. And those of you who have been following the channel for a while might remember a video a few months ago in January when I picked up this Benchmade 770, which is also in Osborne design. And I was talking at that point just about how underwhelmed I was by so much of what Benchmade was going to be releasing this year. You know, SHOT Show had just come and gone, and I was taking a look at their catalog for the year and just wasn't really impressed with it, and decided to focus my 2017 Benchmade efforts on picking up some of these older discontinued models that I'd always wanted to get my hands on but just hadn't been able to. So again, just really excited to be doing that today. And let's start first and foremost with the knife that I've wanted for so long. And this one right here is the 960 blue Osborne aluminum with G10 insert. All right, so let's bring that one out. And here it is. All right, just an absolutely beautiful knife designed by Warren Osborne. Long discontinued design. And, this isn't going to be a review, but we are going to go over some of the details and the history of the knife. And this one is a limited edition, number 28 out of 50 in D2 tool steel. And the craftsmanship on this knife is just fantastic. I mean, if you take a look at the aluminum scale here and then this G10 insert, I mean, it is so nicely finished. The fit on it is pretty close to flawless. Just a very, very good looking knife. And I'm extremely impressed with it. And ecstatic, again, ecstatic that it is part of my collection. All right, and talking about the 960, you might be looking at this and thinking, wow, that's a really, really rare limited edition. But the interesting thing about the model and the design and the way that Benchmade marketed it is that over a course of a few years, this one really had a ton of different variations, just a ton of them. The original one, and please, anyone who has more information about this knife than me, correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong or if you have anything you'd like to add. But my understanding is that the original 960 came in red and in silver and had 154 cm blade steel. And around that time, Benchmade made a number of limited editions, and instead of doing like a 500 run or a 200 or 300 run, they did 50 runs in blue and in a few other color schemes. I think they had like a silver with mother of pearl inlay instead of G10. I mean, a ton of different ones, and they did them in runs of 50 to make them a little bit more exclusive and really, really collectible. I have seen some Benchmade 960 videos on YouTube, but I've never seen this particular knife on YouTube. So excited to do that and put this one out there too. But the point is that there's just a lot of different variations. So this one in D2, and the box for it was the old, Benchmade box from past days. And then eventually what happened was, I believe they upgraded the entire line and put D2 in the entire line. And so if you got one of these knives with a newer box, it probably came with D2. So 154 cm in some of them, D2 in some of them, and then eventually this knife became the 13960 under the Harley Davidson name. So they co-branded it and gave it S30V over there. So there's just a whole lot of different ones that you can get, and I've seen some collectors, some really cool pictures online with people having like 12 of them, 12 different 960s, which is awesome. I mean, it's just a gorgeous knife, and one that they really should bring back. Taking a look at it, the blade is just absolutely gorgeous. For size comparison, I will bring back out the 770. You can see the 770 is a little bit smaller. And actually, let's slide these up just a little bit, and I'll bring out the 940. which is a comparison that probably more of you will be able to understand. The blade length of the 960 is, I think, 3.1 or 3.2 inches as far as cutting edge. So right around half an inch longer is the 940. And while the 940 is definitely going to be more ergonomic, the 960 is just a classy, good-looking knife. Really good for lightweight tasks. Like I said, just beautiful. And up top you have this titanium backspacer, just like the 940s and the 943 have. Let me see if I can get this focused. Yeah, and this one is like green. So yeah, just overall really thrilled with it. It's always exciting anytime you pick up a knife that's been on your list for a long time, and it absolutely delivers, and it's what you wanted it to be. So this one most certainly is. I wasn't particularly picky when it came to which 960 I got. This just happens to be one that popped up and I was able to get my hands on at a good price. I really just wanted one that was in good condition, and for a knife that's about 10 years old, actually more than 10 years old, this one is flawless. So really, really excited to add that to the collection. So obviously wanted to share that with you. And then I have another one that I just sort of came across and picked up, and this is the 335 Big Spender. This is a Mel Pardue design, and not that I'm a Benchmade expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I check eBay every single day for Benchmades, and so just about every model that gets on there, I'm somewhat familiar with, and I'd never seen this model before. I'd seen the 330 Big Spender, but not the 335. And this one is a little bit different. And I found this on Blade HQ of all places. Sometimes Blade HQ will get a couple older discontinued knives that get sent to them by collectors who just want to sell them. And Benchmade will do that. And Blade HQ will do that. And so those old knives will just pop up on the website. And this one did, and it was at a pretty decent price, I thought, and I had to pick it up. And again, the same thing I said about the 960. Anybody knows anything about this knife, definitely let me know down below, because there's not a lot out there about it. Like I said, I've seen a lot of 330s, but there's just a lot of information that I was not able to track down about this knife. You can see this as pre-production model, 457 out of 1,000 with 154 cm, but any production model that I was able to find all had 440C. So that's another reason why I picked this one up. I wasn't sure if that made it more exclusive. I don't know, just as a collector's piece, something cool to have, part of Benchmade's history. And I'm a big Benchmade guy. Really love the company, so having something that's older from them is a pretty neat thing. About the knife itself, though, not really sure how many different applications you'd have for this. The frame here really just looks like glorified liners. It looks like the kind of liners that you'd see on a knife that should have scales over it. It almost looks unfinished. But the production model was basically the same way. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that was intended or what, but this is just obviously going to be a very lightweight EDC knife and almost like a minimalist carry. It's called the Big Spender because you've got this really big oversized pocket clip here, and it's basically a money clip. So imagine a situation where you don't want to carry your wallet, or you just want to have only a few things on you, but you want a knife. You got your knife, stack of cash, maybe a credit card, and a license just slid under here, and that's everything you need, good to go. So as far as that goes, this would be a good knife for something like that, very lightweight. And like I said, minimalist, but other than that, I don't really see too many opportunities for me to carry this one myself. It is a very nice looking knife. I like the polish on it, and I really like the blade shape. But this one is really in the collection more for collectability than any other reason. So again, yeah, just that pre-production model. So any information that you might have about this, like I said, please let me know, because I'd really, really be interested to hear about it. Eventually, I'm guessing this one will probably leave the collection and get sold. That's sort of how it works. I need to have money in order to get new knives, and if something, even if it's a really collectible, is not getting used all that much, it usually ends up going away. So this might end up finding a new home in the near future, depending on what else I need to pick up in my life. But that's just the way it works. The 960, though, on the other hand, is going to be with me for quite a while. So excited about that. Really excited to be able to share that with you today. So any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know about that down below. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Have a good one.